Hello beautiful people and welcome to the channel. My name's Reverend Debbie and I talk about all things to do with narcissistic, abusive and toxic relationships, as well as looking at healing from them. And today's video I'm going to issue a trigger warning right at the beginning. I'm going to be discussing some difficult topics, so if you think it may trigger you, maybe stop this video, watch something else and come back to it in the future. So today I'm going to look at the narcissist wants you to suffer. And I'm pretty sure that many of you have suffered at the hands of a narcissist, whether that's in a romantic relationship, a friendship, or in a familial relationship, or even from somebody you work with. Your suffering is their supply. Doesn't matter how you suffer, it is their supply. So whatever you're going through, a difficult time, difficult period in life, they love it. It feeds them. It feeds their nasty side. They will lap up your tears and perhaps even laugh at people for crying. They are the kind of people who will laugh at somebody who falls down in the street and not help them, or somebody who spills food down themselves accidentally. They will laugh at that person because they're getting their rocks off. This is their supply. This is what they want. They love to see other people suffer, and you are no exception. They will wait for a response from you and push and push and push until they get the desired response. I'm going to talk about some of the ways that the narcissist does this. I'm pretty sure there are more ways that they will do it, and you may well have experienced it. If you have, pop something in the comments below. Or you can email me at debbiewolfmoon@yahoo.co.uk if you'd like to have a chat about it. We can set that up. And if you do enjoy the video, please click the like button and please subscribe to the channel. I am running low on subscribers, really need to get those subscribers up now. It's been over a year since I've been doing this channel, and I'd really like to get this message out to as many people as possible. So as I say, it's no secret that the narcissist lives on supply, whether that's supply from you or somebody else, it doesn't matter. They need that supply. And if you have been or are in a relationship with a narcissist, you will know through their gaslighting and their baiting that they elicit a response from you, and that is the response that they want. And this is where grey rock comes in and is so important. But I'm going to put a link to grey rocking in the video description below so you can have a watch of that at another time. I'm not going to go into too many details. But they want your response. So one of the ways they like to see you suffer is with physical pain. They love it when you are in physical pain. Now, I remember having broken my leg, and I knew it was broken, but the doctor said no, it was a ligament damage. I thought, no, it's not, it's definitely broken. But he thought it was great fun because I had to sit with my leg rested and so on, and I was complaining about the pain, and it was very, very painful. Eventually, it was diagnosed as a stress fracture and it was broken, but it took 3 months for that to be diagnosed. In the meantime, I was driving with it, walking on it, teaching yoga with it. I wasn't running, but I was still cycling. But he thought this was funny, that I was in pain. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm an empathic person, and if I see somebody in pain, I want to help them. I want to heal them. I want to fix them. I want to hug them. I want to tell them it's going to be okay. Not the narcissist. Definitely not. If you're in pain, they may want to see you suffer even more. I remember there was one time I was lying in bed and I have a herniated disc in my lower back from falling off a horse years ago. And I sometimes can't turn over in bed. I can't get out of bed. It sort of spasms. And I'd shouted him and asked him for help. He just stood there looking at me, lapping up the pain that I was going through. This was his supply. They will also do things that will hurt other people. For example, my ex had this habit of, when we were with his family, throwing the kids up in the air and catching them. And he would do it sometimes to the point where the kid would bang their head on the ceiling and start to cry. And he would just go, whoops. It didn't matter that he'd hurt the kid or, you know, injured the child. Nobody else noticed this, but he thought this was great fun. Have you had that experience when you've been in a lot of pain, physical pain, and they have made it a joke? Or perhaps they've even made it all about them. It's inconvenient to them that you're in pain. They love your tears. They love to see you cry. And they will try to elicit this response as many times as they possibly can. And that can be in many different ways. They live off of that pain. Now, I suffer with bipolar disorder. Most of you who watch this know that. And I suffer with depression from that quite a lot. And a lot of the time I cry for reasons, many reasons. I'm not going to go into them. But the more you cry, the more supply they get. And they love it when you cry. Think of a child who's crying. Perhaps they've tripped up, fallen over, hurt the knee. And the parent says to them, if you don't stop crying, I'm going to give you something to cry about. That is the kind of behaviour that elicits a further traumatic response into crying. And if you experience that as a child, you are probably a wounded child who has become a victim of a narcissist. So have a look in your past, see if that kind of thing did happen, and if that may be part of what's brought you to this position today. I tend to cry at movies where animals die. I'm very emotive around animals, and I can't watch those advertisements where the animals are injured and being rescued by the RSPCA or animal welfare or one of those. I just can't. I have to turn the channel or just turn it off. It saddens me so much that somebody could put an animal through so much pain. Perhaps that's my level of empathy that I feel for these animals, because I may have been treated like that in the past, and perhaps you have too. But these responses that they want from you, perhaps you are out visiting somewhere for the day and you're looking for a restaurant to eat at, it's lunchtime, and the narcissist can't decide which restaurant to go to. So you are in and out of several different references. By the time you find the one that the narcissist wants to eat in, meanwhile for you the first one was good enough, you know, you just want to sit down and rest. By the time they find a restaurant that they want to be in, they've stopped serving food. So, of course, it's all your fault. Remember, they blame you for everything. They are never to blame for anything. What about on your birthday? They may deliberately try to upset you. Perhaps doing something such as forgetting a cake or forgetting a card or not getting you a present or making fun of you. There could be many things that happen there. And I'd love to know your stories in the comments below, but they love their birthdays. They want full-on attention on their birthdays. But when it comes to your birthday, they still want to be the centre of attention. And again, I know it was a birthday of mine and we'd gone to the city of York for the day. And again, looking for a restaurant to eat in. And it took hours to find one that he found suitable. Meanwhile, I didn't care. You know, I would have been happy. There was an Italian place down the shambles that I'd been to before, absolutely loved it. But no, he wanted a different place. So this makes you cry, and you're upset and angry with them because you just want, you know, it's your birthday. You want to be treated like it's your birthday, not like it's their birthday and you're inconveniencing them. They love to see you beg, especially at the end of a relationship or if they have threatened to leave. And some of you may have experienced this, and I have, not my past narcissistic relationship, but one a very long time ago, where I actually got down on my knees and begged. And they love it. They get this smile on their face, this smug feeling that they have. It's like, look what I made you do. You're begging. You are begging me to stay. That's how badly you want me. This is my supply. Their supply. At the discard is possibly the biggest time for supply they will get from you begging. You may beg them to stay. You may get down on your knees in front of them. And if you have done it, don't worry. Don't feel embarrassed about it. It's something that many of us have done. You may ring them repeatedly, asking them, please come back. Why can't we be together? Remember, this is part of the trauma bond, and I'm going to put a link to the trauma bond video in the description box below as well, so you can have a watch of that to find out more about the trauma bond. But this trauma bond has caused you now to get down on your knees and beg them because you are waiting for them to come back to you. That is part of the trauma bond. They love bomb you, they devalue you, they discard you, they come back, they love bomb you, they devalue you, they discard you, they come back. And that is the cycle. And it is to enforce that trauma bond so that you will beg them eventually to come back. Now, perhaps you are in a relationship that has physical abuse attached to it. And that can be taken in two ways. Number one, it can be taken as their dominance over you, that they want to see you suffer, that you will do what they say. But it can also be taken as a punishment for you, that you've done something wrong and they want you to see that you've done something wrong and that you need to listen to them and do it right. They may hit, punch, slap, pin you to a wall or the floor, strangle you, break your stuff. And my advice at this is, if you do experience anything like that, contact the relevant authorities, a refuge, Women's Aid or a Men's Aid, a refuge, something that you can get advice from, or the police or other authoritative being. But physical violence is probably the ultimate form of supply that they get. And this is a form of misogyny when it is committed by a man. When it's committed by a woman, it's misandry. I can't go into that because I haven't experienced that, but I have experienced misogyny. And there's an old joke that probably came out in the 50s or even before that, but it goes, what do you tell a woman with two black eyes? Nothing. You already told her twice. Some of you may find that funny. Perhaps it was funny, but is it really funny? A husband shouldn't be hitting his wife or a woman or any other being. It is wrong. It is illegal. It is abuse. It's not acceptable to go through that. You are not to blame. And I want you to remember that any abuse that you go through, you are not to blame. My next, we hadn't been married for very long, and he lost it one day and he smashed our rings on the floor, stamping on them, and ruined the rings, broke some tiles on the floor. And I should have realised then that that was an indication that this is not going to work, that this is childish behaviour, and that his belief in the sanctity of marriage was not the same as mine. Smashing the ring that signifies and shows that you are a union together is not really a very good start to a marriage, is it? So if you've experienced something like this, it may well be time for you to reconsider this part of your life. And I know it can be hard because you love this person so much, but they don't love you. They love the supply that you give them, but they don't love you. So if you have any examples that you'd like to share, as I said before, pop them in the comments below, or email me at debbiewolfmoon@yahoo.co.uk. And if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends, family, anybody who you think may benefit from this, perhaps who's going through a similar experience. I hope to see you next time. Blessed be.